the next question, because we talked so much about astrologers as well, and we mentioned William Lilly actually. So my question to you is, who can actually be an astrologer in terms of, can you maybe give us an example to your charts in terms of how to see the important indications of as confirmation for that?
It's a big subject to talk about career choices. All right. And I have references. Shlokas that one can debate, that can dwell on. One of those Hindi translations of Parashara talks about, it's an interesting topic, just to understand what the concept of astrologer is in those older versions of Parashara.
Right.
In the older versions of Parashara, and I say older because they're Hindi translations, and sincerely, it's a good question if they really were at any point in time part of the original Parashara. It's a good question because the language and the Sanskrit used doesn't look like the rest of the Parashara Hora Shastra. So it looks like it was borrowed. So I admit it may not be Parashara, but that doesn't mean it's not valuable because somebody included it because they saw value in it. So that must mean that there was something relevant there. And this is the thing, when they try to put Parashara together, they go out and they try to find the shlokas and they say it doesn't look like there's the shlokas. Then they see these shlokas which look like they belong somewhere, but they might be as scholarly as us saying, we don't know how this fits, but we'll include it so other people can decide, so we are not the ones deciding for them. Great, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Correct.
Lovely. Please do that. Maybe a small note. We added it from here. Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And also the other part of it is when you go out and find the shlokas, some of it is oral memory. When they recite the shloka for you, you're sitting and putting it together and saying, so are you sure this word was here originally?
Yeah. Not everything was written. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't written down. It's remembered. And what's more important is the essence, I argue. But most of the topics on profession, when it comes to Parashara, belong to these chapters on Dana Yogas, Raja Yogas, Raja Sambandha Yogas, and such.
Yes.
And so people say, oh, but Parashara doesn't talk about profession. No. It's in those chapters you're supposed to derive the various schools of professions. Okay? It just takes a bit of energy. And that's also when we teach Parashara in our Parampara, in the PJC course. Then in our 5th year, we start teaching the Dana, Raja, Daridra Yogas, Raja Sambandha, and so on. That's when we start talking about profession.
Right.
And your question is really a professional topic, Now, the first thing you notice, which is nice for me to bring up at this point, is the many of those yogas which are given in Parashara for Raja Sambandha, Dana Yoga don't all have a link to the 10th house. And so when people say careers in the 10th house, I say, yeah, it's also related to the 10th house. Yes. And so who can be an astrologer? The hierarchy I like to build up when it comes to reading a chart. The first thing I look for is, has the great god Shiva given you gyan to do anything? And you will then, now you're supposed to retort and say, Visti, not all professions come with gyan. I say, okay, sorry. All right. But I won't see them from Jupiter.
Yeah.
Somebody is now going to retort saying, Jupiter spends 1 year in a sign and you're going to base predictions based on that Jupiter? How dare you? You call yourself an astrologer. I say, thank you. Yeah. I like that remark. I love it. Please give me more of those critiques, because then I can retort and say, yes, but that's because there's a choice involved in taking what you want from the grahas. And somebody say, but Visti, I thought you were a Jyotisha. What do you mean free will? I said, I didn't say free will. I said choice.
Right.
And that choice is based on you. You are the lagna. Does the lagna support that graha?
Correct.
And you say, Visti, lagna. What do you mean lagna? Oh, I use divisional charts. Do you?
Of course.
Oh, now we're talking, right? Indeed. Somehow or the other, there's something happening in the Vargas which is making us choose things that are happening in the supermarket of the Rashi. What an interesting concept, right?
Indeed.
This Rashi is like a supermarket. Lagna will change every 2 hours, but something in the divisional charts is saying, I like this graha, I don't like that. I like this graha, I don't like that. And basis that, we are making choices in professions.
Correct.
Okay. I like to give the analogy, the Rashi is stale and staying the same. The grahas are barely moving, but in the Vargas, tick, 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 small tweaks are happening. And that because of that, some part of the Rashi is going up, some part of the Rashi is going down, some part of the Rashi is going up, down. That is Nadi Jyotish. Okay?
Yes.
That is that's Nadi Jyotish. Oh, if one half of this Nadi Amsha is there, this will happen. But the other half, that will happen instead. Wow. Nadi. Somebody says, oh, Nadi Jyotish, you're talking only Nadi Amsha. No. You know the Nadi Amsha means you know the Lagna in all 16 divisional charts.
Yes.
One of those divisional charts is important, not all of them. The Nadi is just giving it a quick reference.
Right.
All right. Those secrets are really Vargas. Now, but I look for in the Rashi chart as my staple first reference.
Okay.
Are you blessed to use your eyes? Shukra rules the eyes. Is Guru Shukra Yoga there? Guru is all the knowledge. What knowledge do you have? Knowledge of the eyes. Guru Shukra Yoga must be there.
Guru Yoga, yeah.
You can also, with that same yoga, decide that you're going to be a painter and open a gallery. Same yoga. Okay? Same.
Right.
So, just because one is blessed to use the eyes doesn't really mean necessarily you will be an astrologer. But at least I need to, somebody ask me if they can be an astrologer, I will look at that first. And then I will see whether the person is doing numbers and calculations as soon as they open the Navamsha. So but this is such an important clincher, because if you don't have that blessing of Shukra, blessing, or rather, it's a blessing of Guru upon Shukra, or you can say whichever yoga they have with each other. Is Shukra in Guru's sign? Is Shukra in Guru's Navamsha? Is Shukra Guru Yuti? Are they having some drishti?
Parivartanam.
Parivartana. I have Parivartana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shukra in own sign can also activate Guru. Shukra in Swakshetra will activate Guru. All right? Because then Shukra has to rely on its Uchanata. Uchanata. Pisces is the Ucha Rashi, so it'll rely on Uchanata Guru. Okay? So these links I'm looking for. I don't go beyond Rashi Navamsha for these links. And if it's in Navamsha, I say, you're given it, but do you really want it? Because somebody gave it to you in Navamsha, and in Rashi you have to decide to use it. Are you using it? It was given to you. All right, Navamsha. So I don't like if it's in Navamsha. I want it to be in Rashi, because then you actively pursue it. So this is my first reference point. And then now at this stage I haven't even opened the Lagna, right?
No.
But before I even look at the the divisional charts to see if the Shukra is supported, I want to see something else. I want to see the Atma. The soul, Atma Karaka, Charakaraka, Atma Karaka. And somebody will say, oh, Visti, you're back into Jaimini again. I said, well, okay, tell what you want. Charakaraka Adhyaya is very, very long in Parashara. Details on Charakak replacement, how it works, when it works. This was what K. N. Rao was quoting from when he talked about Charakaraka. All right?
Yeah.
And he uses those. And so in that, the Atma Karaka. These Charakarakas, what are they really? They are, if you say that there are 3 types of Karakas, Parashara states, Naisargika, Chara, Stira. 3 types of Karakas. Naisargika are like Brahma. They're created. They are the same. They're Nitya. They never change. Surya is Karaka for father all the time.
Correct.
Nitya, never changing. Nitya, stable. Once created, nothing changes. Brahma's attitude. In fact, in his attitude, nothing should die also. It should just stay alive forever. Okay?
Right.
Problem is then what to do with population sizes, right? That's what we're dealing with now in the world. Then, Stira Karaka, where just the body. Stira. You thought Stira was Nitya. Forever. Stira means fixed. But that Stira is also not completely fixed. But it's called Stira. But it's about the staleness that is there with regards to the body. It's about ending. There are only 7 Stira Karakas. It's very nice. 7, 8, 9. 7 Stira, 9 Naisargika or Nitya. In the middle is 8 Charaka. 7, 8, 9. Perfect number.
Changeable,
And then some people say, no, there must be 7 Charakarakas. I say, okay. Why should there be 7? There should be. Sometimes, not all the time.
Correct, correct.
That's our attitude, at least, and we work with that, and we have shlokas from the Gita to support that. That's how we study Jyotish. We study from the Gita. People don't know that also. The Orissa Gita is very, very long with Jyotish commentary. Now, so excuse me, come back to where we were.
No problem, no problem.
So where was I? So there's these 3, and the stira are showing how the body is going to support the Atma. And the Nitya are born, so we have one in between. And this in between is sustaining our life in this planet. Charakaraka sustain us. I want to see if your progress in Jyotish is going to be sustained. Because even if you have the blessing from Shiva to learn it and master it and work with it, Jupiter is like Dana Yoga. Will he give you Dhanam from Jyotish, from using your eyes? So Guru Shukra Yoga must be there. Step 1.
Yes.
Can you sustain the energy of doing it? If you can't, you will spend 1 day on it, 2 days on it, 3 weeks on it. I want a new profession. So the next thing I check is, for the betterment of that person, is the Atma Karaka linked to the 3rd or 11th house strongly? Some people say, Visti, you said 3rd house. Some Parampara students will say, 3rd house, are you sure, Visti? I said, yeah, I'm sure. I'm confident. Okay. 11th house is what we teach. 3rd house has been mentioned. And the reason for the 3rd house is because both these houses are holding, from the perspective of the Atma, they're holding Agni, or they hold Mangal's power. They hold the Grishma Ritu. And this Grishma Ritu is that among the Shad Ritu, the 6 seasons, which is the Jyotish Ritu.
Yeah.
So somebody who hears this will say, oh, you're linking the 6 seasons to the 6 Angas of the Veda. Yes, that's what we do. We do that.
Beautiful.
And they are and 3rd and 11th house come under one season, which is the Grishma. These are Bhava seasons. Some people will say, Visti, I think your ritus are wrongly allocated. I'm being very technical here. All right? But I'm answering the question before it comes. This is going to go somewhere. People will comment. So I'll answer right away. They are Bhava ritus, and they are different from Rashi ritus. And they are based on, these are Karaka ritus. So 3rd and 11th comes under Mangal Karaka, basis this ritu concept, not other concepts. Visti, Jupiter is Karaka for 11th house. I said, were you listening? I just said this is a ritu Karaka. In that concept, 3rd, 11th is both mass. So I want either Atma Karaka linked to 11th house or 3rd. If 11th, you will join a school to learn. If 3rd, you won't. Or you might join and then you'll go on your own. You will not rely on the school. The 11th is the school associating with the teacher. And 3rd means you're figuring it out on your own.
Or as a
Some
hobby.
very, very prominent astrologers have figured it out on their own. Yes. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that I need you to sustain the interest in that with the Atma Karaka. But we're still in the supermarket of Rashi chart, so eventually I will go to the Navamsha. But if these 2 things are not there, you will not enjoy success as an astrologer.
Correct.
Yeah. I need these 2 things.
And when you say the connection of the 11th or 3rd bhava with Atma Karaka, means that Atma Karaka is either there or the lord of those bhavas, or is there the 3rd option?
You can be quite broad. You can even have Rashi Drishti. Graha Drishti means so temporary, you will only do it for a season, all right? Or for a dasha. But I need Rashi Drishti at the very least. And Visti, there will people say, Drishti, come on, Visti, you're taking me seriously. Hey, look, I already said Guru Shukra Yoga also.
Yes.
I need 2 of them. After that, I have additions that I use. And those additions are quite vital. But if these 2 are not there, it's hard to keep this going.
Correct.
A lot about Jyotish analysis is about Atma Karaka in my perspective, because Atma Karaka and all the Chara Karakas sustain activity. Okay?
Indeed.
And so the sustenance of an activity is what I'm examining first. Well, alongside the blessing of Gyan, of knowledge.
Yes. Yes.
But like I said, not everybody's profession is based on knowledge. Many people's profession is based on the 10th from moon. Staple principle, it's repeated in Saravali, many other places. 10th from moon should be seen for profession. It's true, but the 10th from moon is interested in putting food on the table. And you can put food on the table with any profession. All right?
Yeah.
We also have references to see fourth from sun, but that's only for very wealthy people. Surya Lagna is for very, very big wealth. Businessmen need fourth from sun. They're not running after 10th from moon.
Yes, that was my question to you. Fourth from sun, yeah, as well. You mentioned. Okay.
Yes. So these three, the three sattva grahas, sun, moon, Jupiter, I look for to see what food or what art activity sustains the person. Sattva graha gives sustenance. Okay. All right. They give sthiti. They continue and give sthiti. That's what sattva is for. The Vishnu avatars incarnate to ensure we cross the yuga. All right. They're ensuring sthiti, and they are having a large amount of sattva guna to ensure sthiti. They do so by carrying Shri. Wherever Vishnu goes, Shri is with him.
He's with him, yeah.
Okay. And that is the ability, the reason why he can enable us to cross the yugas. All right. Similarly, in life, you need to cross time. Okay. For the individual, the human being in this planet or even animal, yugas are coming much, much faster than for the rest of the whole universe. All right. Indeed. So we need just to cross days. We need to cross years. So how to cross that time? You need sattvic grahas, sun, moon, Jupiter. And they're telling us where to find our sattva from. Where's the food from? Is it fourth from sun? Wow. You get fourth from sun, you are a big person. Money. You're not just having income, you're having wealth from that activity. So the best activity to pursue to have wealth is the activity fourth from sun.
Yeah.
Lucky you if you're doing that profession. Maybe your 10th from moon is telling you to get a job and the fourth from sun is connected and you turn that into a business. Wealth comes from really that. Okay.
Correct.
And or maybe you have studied very far and you're an intellectual and you're depending on knowledge given to you by Jupiter. And the yogas with Jupiter, and their houses from Jupiter to receive from that. For reference, I recommend people study the Dhanakarak workshop my Guruji gave some years ago. Okay. Yes, Dhanakarak. And he explains this, and this is based on Parashara's Dana Yoga Dhyaya.
Correct. So we have Yuti of actually a connection of the Shukra and Brihaspati. That's the first thing. The second thing, connection of Atma Karaka with 11th or 3rd Bhava. So something further on, and you can actually maybe show us an example through some charts. Or
the next thing I would dwell on is the second house, because astrologers have to give predictions. All right. Somebody might argue that it depends really, because is every astrologer giving predictions? And some people earn from teaching, and I say, well, it is still Vak, which is your focus. But if you read these shlokas from Parashara, in that version of Parashara I have read, which I've already given a disclaimer about the origins of the shlokas, you can read them in the Tarachand translation of Hindi translation of Parashara as one. I like the Tarachand version among the options that are out there. And it's similar to other versions. I think Devachandra Ja. Is it Devachandra Ja?
Could be.
Don't quote me on that. But there's another version by Mr. Ja, which has very similar shlokas. But my point is that is given in the Raja Sambandha Adhyaya. It's given, before I show a chart, it's given under the banner of, these are the yogas for people who do Rasayana. Now, under Rasayana, first there are a bunch of shlokas which talk about people who are using it for medical purposes and which type of metals and whatnot used. And then the last shloka of the Rasayana says, this yoga makes you a Kalagya, who knows time.
And actually, Rasayana is a kind of alchemy.
Yeah, it's alchemy.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is so, for me, it's so interesting. Because when people talk about astrologers in the back in the time, which were in Europe, they're called alchemists.
Alchemists, yes.
They're termed alchemists. Okay.
Yes.
And this is so interesting because people don't know that when you would go to medical school in the time of Copernicus, Copernicus went to medical school. Our great astronomer Copernicus, med school.
Yes.
Why was he going to med school? He went to Pisa in Italy to go to medical school. And there, the method of diagnosis he was learning was astrology. Because that is how it was done. A good doctor could diagnose the disease using astrology in those times. Correct. I mean, how interesting. Okay.
And this is also interesting. Before you continue, alchemy is connected to the Mercury as well. So is there a connection with the Mercury and second bhava also? You will speak about that.
I will not speak ill of that concept, but when you learn about Rasa Ayana, the most important concept comes from 9th house, because Rasa Ayana requires you to be a Bishaj. You are like a doctor, all right? You are healing people, like a Vaidya.
Yeah, Vaidya,
and Bisaj Guru. Bisaj Guru is one who knows Rasa Ayana, and one school of that is just being a medical doctor. One school. But there are others, and you say Mercury. That's also just one school who uses Mercury in Rasayana. Only one. And Parashara states this. And then he says, oh, and these people are using metals like gold and silver and copper. And I'm not sure they use copper, but gold and silver, certainly. All right. Yeah, some is using herbs, some is using this. He describes one by one. I say Parashara, but again, I have the disclaimer earlier. And then when it comes to Jyotish, now he mentions second house.
Okay.
And he states, you need to find yogas between the first and second house, from Lagna, from Atmakarak, from Aruda Lagna. And each of these are relevant. Okay. But not all of them, not every astrologer may have them. But you are needing a second house blessing is the point. Because you are, and when you have the blessing from the Lagna, you are having a natural ability. When you have the blessing from the Atmakaraka, you are pursuing it. You're sustaining the activity. When you have the blessing from Aruda Lagna, you're known for it. People know you for it. In the public foray, you're known for it. You're speaking about this. So I will say to you, the most important yoga is between the first and second from Aruda Lagna. And this can happen in different ways. But the idea is that it can be the second lord from Aruda aspecting Aruda, for example.
Right.
Now,
interesting.
But let's get into the charts. All right. And let's see here if I can find an interesting chart on this. I will I'll share my screen now. And here we are. And I hope you can see it.
Oh, yes.
And this is the software I'm presenting with today. And these days I use it a lot. It's called Deva.Guru. And that's also the link to it. It's nice for sharing information, and we keep it up to date. So it's nice. Now it says, this is the chart of B.V. Raman, Bangalo Venkataraman.
Yes.
Now, I'm presenting a chart. So I have to explain what it is I'm doing when I'm presenting this chart.
Correct.
And I just realize I have this small app used for my Chrome browser. Actually, this is a Opera browser, but it's a Chrome-based browser. It's called Paint. So I can paint, and I use this also in readings. So I can show the client and people I'm talking to what I'm doing.
Yeah, the visual aspect is very important. Yes.
I like it. Also, I make notes like this myself. So, so B.V. Raman's chart, and I have drawn the South Indian chart and the East Indian chart and the North Indian chart. Now, among these charts, because the South and the East Indian chart has a Bhupura, okay? It has a center, a Bhupura. If you know yantras have a Bhupura, okay? A center. And this center, this center is relevant in Vedic charts. Vedic charts. Now, in the North Indian chart, there's no center. We do not consider this a Vedic chart. Now, when you see the Western astrology charts, they look like this North Indian chart, only there's this large square in the middle, which is empty. And they put a picture or something similar in there.
Yeah.
So they're closer to Vedic charts. But the problem is in Vedic charts, they're supposed to be Nirayana. Nirayana means that the stars are fixed.
Right.
The signs are fixed.
Right.
Only the grahas are moving. Here in the North Indian chart, the signs are moving. That is not Vedic.
Yeah.
So I have presented that. So if I had to do proper Vedic analysis, I would not normally have presented the North Indian chart. I still do so. But trust, I will keep my favorite, the East Indian here. South and East are the proper charts. If you want to do Jyotish at a Vedic level, you need to do these. Don't be lazy. Learn them both. Okay. I know all three. So people say, oh, I'm from North India, Visti, or I prefer the North Indian chart. I say, okay, no problem. I'll do it. My good colleague, Freedom Cole, he teaches using the North Indian chart. No problem. I use the North Indian. I know them all by hand.
Right.
And you should know them all by hand as an astrologer. The thing is, if you learn the East, you know them all by hand. That's interesting. There's something that happens in the brain when you learn the East.
The Surya chakra, Surya charts. The
Surya chakra, yes, Eastern. So these are Guru, Surya, and Shukra chakra, we call them. Bhrigu chakra, some people say, but I wonder if Bhrigu ever used it. Now, if you read Parashara, it sounds like he is using the Guru chakra. His references are related to Guru chakra.
South Indian,
yeah. And where was I? B.V. Raman.
Yes.
What do I need? I am looking for a yoga between Guru and Shukra. First, very successful Jyotisha. Guru Shukra yoga must be there. Now, when I look for yogas between planets and I'm ignoring the Lagna, I am looking at Deva blessings. Because these are like Karaka yogas. You know?
Right.
Gajakeshari yoga, Shashi Mangala yoga, all these popular yogas, they're based on planets regardless of the chart. They're Karaka yogas.
Correct.
They are going to show me whether the god is blessing you. Karaka yoga. And even that sun chart, moon chart, Jupiter chart we talked of earlier is God's blessing. Do you take advantage of God's blessing or not is a different question, but at least it should be there.
Right.
Your Guru is in Mangal sign, Vrishika, right? Vrishika is there. And so we'll say, oh, there is no Guru Shukra yoga because Shukra is over here in Simha. There's no yoga. It doesn't look like there's any link between them. But in Guru yogas, or rather Karaka yogas, I am permitted to look at the planet and its dispositor Manga in this case, which is joined Shukra.
Yes.
You see? Yes. So this is a Karaka yoga concept. Now this is nice because I can focus. Is there yoga between these two, or there's yoga with the dispositor? Okay?
Correct.
If its dispositor is giving the yoga, you needed a teacher to come. Okay? The teacher was his grandfather.
Correct.
So I know that somehow this Mangal, dispositor is third person always, not direct, it's indirect. Okay? So this Mangal is somehow linked to his grandfather. Okay?
Yeah. I see.
Now, I'm going to be very cheeky and do something now. Okay? Because I know it's his grandfather. So I'm going to confirm now.
Yeah. The ninth from the 90s.
Birth family is seen from the 12th lord from Moon. Moon's 12th lord here is Mars. Oh, wow, it worked. 12th lord from Moon is Mars. This Mars is his guru. This guru has taught him Shukra to see with the eyes.
Yes.
Budh to speak with his mouth.
Correct.
He knows mantras. Correct. Tripura, Raja Rajeshwari, he knows. Okay? Yes. And he also knows Jyotish because of that.
Correct.
That is the grace that Shiva is gifting him. I say Shiva. Whoever you consider the origin of Gyan, you want to call him Veda Vyasa, I'm happy. He's a Shiva Rupa. Okay? Yes.
Right.
Guru of all.
Right.
So this is where we're at. So I have the first blessing, and I also know how the blessing will come. God is saying, Bhagwan, the Karakas are saying, by my hand, you will learn from a third person. That person will be related to you, family-wise, birth family. Okay? And that person will give you Shukra and Guru. Shukra and Budh, excuse me. All right?
Correct.
All right. So that is the first thing. Then I want to see Atma Karaka. Atma Karaka here is Chandra. Chandra is there. So what link does Chandra have in this chart to the houses which are 3rd or 11th house?
Aspected by 11th Lord.
Yes, you're right. 11th Lord is here and there's mutual drishti. Perfect. We like this. This is excellent. There's some drishti. They're looking at each other. This person will definitely be associated with the Parampara somehow. Now, somebody who reads this will say, oh, but Mahakal Nath, Visti, didn't you see the obvious? There is Gajakeshari yoga here. Yeah. I know. I didn't ignore it. No way. I wouldn't ignore that.
Correct.
Then I will ask, oh, you're reading Vividha Yoga of Parashara. That's one of the Vividha Yogas. So I'm very specific. You're reading Vividha Yogas. Yes. I think it's Vividha Yoga. I read it online. Say, no, you didn't read Parashara. Read Parashara. Dvivida Yoga. When Gajakeshari is there, the person will live their whole life by gyan, knowledge. Okay?
Indeed.
You're surrounded by books and by knowledge and by scholars, and every day is just reading those books and earning money from it, and everybody respects you for that knowledge. Yes, that is also happening. Another Karaka Yoga. Of course, I'm still wondering how the Lagna has to do with him taking advantage of this. Let's see the thought process. Did the Lagna support this? But now you know that 11th Lord, Jupiter, who's giving him all this gyan, is saying, oh, I'll give you a parampara of Jyotish to do it from. That's how we read it in B.V. Raman's chart. Okay? Those details I also get. Oh, it's the Lord. Oh, it's Gajakeshari. Oh, this positive Jupiter is saying what knowledge she was giving. Okay. Yes, there we go.
Beautiful.
Details. After this, I am interested in the second house.
Yes.
And here, the second Lord is Jupiter. In our Parampara, I am permitted to say Ketu is also second Lord, Lord of Meena. Yes. That itself is a long story. Okay? Yes. And then, what do we see here? Jupiter is the second Lord. I am really interested, is there a yoga with the Lagna Lord Saturn in this case? Or could it be Lagna Lord Rahu? Some people say Rahu Lord's Aquarius. I wouldn't be dissatisfied either way in B.V. Raman's chart. Everywhere I go, either I get Guru Rahu Yoga, and Rahu is in second, or I get Guru Shani Yoga. I can't go wrong in B.V. Raman's chart. He can't go wrong. He goes one place, people are telling him to predict. Another place, people tell him to predict.
Yes. Correct.
So, but this is from Lagna. It's relevant. Yes, it's relevant because you actively have to do something physically, right? From the Atma Karaka, I find it more relevant. And here from the Atma Karaka, the second Lord is Mercury here. And it's joined Lord of the Atma Karaka sign Venus here. So this Venus-Mercury yoga is saying, I will sustain you by predictions.
Okay? Very good. Indeed.
It's okay if somebody says, Visti, let's come back to your point about, grahas in the sky versus the Lagna. How many people will have this yoga? Because irrespective of the Lagna, Atma Karaka may not move so fast. It stays there for 2 days. So everybody in those 2 days can be an astrologer. Hey, I haven't shown you Navamsha. How Navamsha is making some parts of this chart go up and some to go down. But if it's not in Rashi, I don't have something to look for in Navamsha.
Right.
Okay. So that's why so many people are predicting using Rashi. Okay. With the Rashi, you have all possibilities. It's the supermarket. Go to Navamsha, and some parts of that supermarket are the ones you'll shop in, not the others. Okay. Only veggie section. All right.
Correct.
So somehow somehow B.V. Raman has chosen only this certain sections of the supermarket, which is for everyone. We only choose certain sections of the Rashi to work with. Yes. And so this is there. Now, what's his Aruda Lagna? It's also there. There are 2 Arudas. Okay.
Yeah. It's because Shani and Rahu because of that. Yeah.
Question is, which is working? If I choose Aruda in Taurus, second Lord is that same Mercury, and first Lord is that same Venus, same yoga. No problem. Easy peasy. If I choose it's in Aries, second Lord is Venus, first Lord is Mars, same yoga. I mean, doesn't matter where I go.
Yeah, this is the easy one. Yeah. Correct.
But somebody will still ask me which one is right. I say, okay, good question. I think that this one in Aries is right. This one in Aries is right. Because he had a very big impact on the world, and that happens when the 9th Lord and 10th Lord from the Aruda are having mutual yoga. Very big impact. Right. World famous. He made Jyotish, he put Jyotish on the map internationally.
Indeed.
So to have that, you need a 9th Lord international, 10th Lord karma yoga.
Yeah.
People say Dharma Karmadipati Yoga. People say that means teaching Dharma. What does it mean? Raj Yoga, what does it mean? It means 9th is from the Aruda, it's not Dharma anymore. From the Aruda, 9th house is world. Whole world is getting the benefit. Big yogas happen like this. And the dasha will be linked to these planets also, by the way.
Right.
This was B.V. Raman's chart.
Right.
And we could do the same example on my Guruji Sanjay Rath.
Yes.
And this is my Guruji's chart here. He has what? He has Shukra in 5th from Guru. All right?
Yeah.
So that means he's having Drishti of Guru. But
Yes.
I'm not satisfied with just being told that, because I know yogas are mutual, not one-sided. So what I will then say is, oh, wait, is there something else I haven't learned here? Well, yes. When you speak of Guru Chakra, you remember how we talked about 10th from moon and 4th from sun?
Yes. Yes.
So Guru gives Dhana Yoga from the 1st, 5th, and 9th from it. And so any graha which has been trines to Guru is possible also of giving some knowledge. All right?
Right.
Also knowledge can come from there.
Right.
Now, some schools will say, in addition, you can also see 2nd and 12th. Now people will freak out and say, Visti, you have given 5 houses from Jupiter which can give Gyan.
Correct.
Yeah, I can also give opposite sign, 6. But that's because of mutual drishti with Jupiter. But it is these 5 houses I'm interested in. Right? I'm interested. I want to see these. And this is what I consider at least an opportunity to learn something. Just because you learn something doesn't mean you'll use it.
Right.
Right? And then there's another topic in this, which is the back of my mind. Just because you are given the opportunity to learn doesn't mean you'll study.
Indeed.
So I have another thing that I use to see if the person will even study it from the moon. The moon will tell me, what is it you like to study? Yes. The trines to moon are Gyan houses from the moon. Do you even like to go to schools and study? You know, are you getting enough support to do it? So they're trines to moon in Rashi and Navamsha to see that. I will leave that be for now.
Indeed.
And the difference between them and what happens when we read them. So, but we come back to, look, is Shukra at least in this? And he said, yes, it is there. So the blessing is there. But like we said, this is the supermarket, right? We have options.
Yeah.
But this is there. Next is Atmakaraka. Atmakaraka is in the 11th house, is the 11th Lord in own sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Set in
Shani.
stone. Easy choice. You know? Again, it's 11th house. Parampara.
And Shani is the tradition. Yeah.
Indeed. And you'll notice Shani is linked to the 11th house in both Bibi Raman and Sanjay Rath's case.
Yes.
Either it was Shani Drishti on 11th Lord, here it's Shani in the 11th house as the 11th Lord.
Correct.
But the clincher was Atmakaraka. Okay. Now, then I will see, all right, we have got the base stuff. Now the person has to predict also. So 2nd Lord here, I'm using the south so far here. We could use the east, and 2nd Lord here from Lagna is Mars. Mars is in the 7th from the Lagna Lord Jupiter. They have mutual drishti, right, to say? Mutual drishti. So there's yoga with the 2nd Lord. Perfect.
And also Mangala is in the place of Satya Pit, the place of truth. Yeah.
That helps. That helps. Yes, indeed. That adds to it. There are some other issues with Mangal over here. Okay, Mangal in 7th has some dilemmas associated with it. Now,
right.
Then I looked, but this is only about his day-to-day practice. What he's doing every day.
Okay.
Now, but what, because because houses from Lagna is you doing activities. This is your bhava, your attitude. So if it's poorly placed, you may not enjoy it. Or you only enjoy it when it's very difficult cases. They have to be difficult. Mars in 7th is Maranastan. Unless the person is dying or in a very difficult situation, it's live or death situation, unless he's getting those cases, he's not invested. Okay, that's the good side of it. The bad side of it, if it's run-of-the-mill questions, he says, why am I doing it?
Right.
Yes. Now, I want to see 2nd house from Atmakaraka. 2nd from Atmakaraka. Atmakaraka is in Capricorn. 2nd is Aquarius. The Lord is Saturn. Who is the Atmakaraka? Oh, staple, Saturn. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay. I have a yoga between 1st and 2nd from Atmakaraka.
Right.
Now I want to see it from Aruda, because this must also come out in the world. It must manifest in the world. And then things get funny, because this Aruda is in Sagittarius.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Some people say it could be in Gemini. You leave that be for now. It's in Sagittarius. All right. Now see 2nd they're from. 2nd they're from is Capricorn.
Shani again, yeah.
But how does this have yoga with Sagittarius? Problem. And you will say, Visti, there must be a mistake. If there's one yoga we know is there, it's this, because he is popular for his work in Jyotish and predictions.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Some people might complain, oh, he gave me this prediction, it was not good. Some other people will say, oh, he gave me this prediction, it was fantastic. You know, we're astrologers. You know, it's not even rocket science has problems. We are astrologers.
Correct.
Okay, so it's difficult, but we know him for his predictions. So from the Aruda, it must be there. We know him for his Jyotish. If a hit must be there from the Aruda. So because Aruda is what you're known for. So how do you get the yoga here? You're not getting the yoga. Maybe you'll say Saturn is aspecting the Lord of Aruda, Jupiter, right? You'll say that.
Yeah, yeah.
But Jupiter doesn't aspect Saturn back. How is this really yoga? And then I say, you know, I was taught that if Ketu is joined the Aruda, you look in reverse. So here's the Aruda. Look in reverse. The second in reverse is going to be Scorpio, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if Scorpio is the one we are focusing on, that means I am permitted to look at the lords of Scorpio. There are two lords we say in our Parampara, Mars or Ketu.
Yes.
Now it's easy for me to say that Ketu is Ucha joined the Aruda, very famous for his Jyotish and his predictions, very famous for what he speaks. His Vak is very famous.
And very lucid in approach, and actually the whole of his approach for me personally is very spiritual all the time. That's the Ketu in the 10th
the Ketu. So that is the nuance you're getting from learning this. The nuance is it's Ketuvian, right? Yes. So you see, that is the yoga. Now somebody will tell me how Mars is going to do this, and I'll say, okay, fine. Mars Guru, Yoga Guru is Lord of the Aruda, fine. I'm no complaint. But there's also that.
Indeed, okay. Beautiful.
You see, in two charts, it worked.
Yeah.
Two very prominent charts.
And so all the details, everything is there. Yeah.
Yes. So now let's see your chart, Milan. Okay,
let's try it.
Let's try it. Maybe there's a chance. No, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes. Maybe there's kind of a promise.
Maybe there's a promise. Okay, right? So what do we find first? Is Guru having yoga with Shukra there? Yuti. Wow. Yeah. First yoga set. Thank God. Relief. All right? Relief. That's the first one. We got it. Now, we just have to see the Atma Karaka. Atma Karaka in your chart is Saturn. Does it have anything to do with the 11th or 3rd house? It's the 11th Lord, Ucha.
Yeah. Yes.
Done.
Yes.
Second one is set. Fixed. We got it.
Indeed.
Third part, which is really 3 parts in itself. The second Lord is either Venus. Okay. This is also considered Mutrikona of the moon, right? So we say every Graha Lord is Mutrikona. For some reason, people somehow missed the idea of the moon. Now, let's see here. And then I wanted a yoga between this Venus or moon and the Lagna. And the Lagna must be there. Okay. And I'll say, well, I wonder, is there really a yoga with Aries? How about Mars, the Lord? Mars is aspecting the moon by Graha Drishti.
Yeah.
But is moon really doing anything back? Not really. Okay. Right. Now, this is where I say, maybe the yoga isn't in the Rashi chart. It's possible. Yogas can happen in the Navamsha. And there are very specific ways in yogas can happen in the Navamsha. Okay. And let me see here. I'm just opening the Navamsha now. Here we go. Yes. And so let us see. Now moon has gone to exaltation and Venus is in 3rd house. Okay. Mars has gone to the Pisces. Okay. At first glance, it still doesn't look like they're having yoga. Not directly. Indirectly at most. Not directly. And you say, but Visti, I'm spending time on this topic. I'm working on this topic. They must have yoga somehow. All right. Now, let's see. Did we miss anything? What do you think? Does it mean we have to bridge the gap through certain planets? Is it possible? Maybe a 3rd planet is putting them together. That sometimes happens. So we go back to the Rashi chart. Let's see. Because I'm sure we would expect if it's there. Now, let's see here. Could it be a 3rd planet doing the work? Now, moon is placed in the sign of Leo. Venus is in the sign of Jupiter.
Yes.
Is Jupiter or the sun having yoga with Mars? And then we see, hey, the sun is in Scorpio. This is Mars' sign. Yeah. So the sun is making you go towards Jyotish and use it as a predictive tool, which means you won't go first to Jyotish. You will first go to the sun. Whatever sun is indicating, you'll first go there.
Correct, correct.
This is like somebody who first starts dwelling on spirituality. Okay?
Indeed.
Some people go first to Jyotish and say, oh, I'm becoming spiritual, so they go to spirituality. For you, it's opposite. You're first going to spirituality, then you go to Jyotish. As if somehow some event pushes you in spirituality towards Jyotish.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I can say very quickly here, there were two cases, but specifically the first one, the loss of my mother, it happened in the moment when Shani was in my 8th bhava, specifically over Surya and Ketu, and casting a 10th aspect on Chandra, which is mother. And that moment pushed me further on to investigate in terms of astrology, specifically Jyotisha. And then later on, in 6 years ago, I opened up because my Shakti, which is again the Dviguru Yoga, my wife, in the 9th bhava, actually, that Shukra and Brihaspati, she was the reason. She told me, go out into the public, do that. Yeah. But through a great transformation, great spiritual transformation through the 8th bhava, as you mentioned. Yes.
Something else had to make this happen, is the point here. Surya is making that work. That also means we have to keep Surya active. Otherwise, you yourself will not be studying the subject. Okay? That's interesting. Now we know that. Right?
Yes.
It's useful for us astrologers. We say, oh, strengthen Surya, then he'll keep studying.
Correct.
Now, next step, then I have to see from Atma Karaka. From Atma Karaka, this is in Libra. Second there from here is going to be Scorpio. What link do they have to each other? Okay? And so I see here, all right, the Lord of Libra is Venus placed over here. Okay? And the Lord of the second, Ketu, is there, but the Lord is Mars placed over here.
Yes.
But wait, Mars is in Saturn's sign.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So Saturn is in the Lagna, but Saturn is also having drishti on Mars' sign.
Indeed.
So when this happens, it's as if Saturn and Mars are having yoga. This is called Yama Yoga. But this yoga is making you dwell on prediction. Which means your main focus in predictions has been people's health and longevity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Good part. Yes.
It's like Yama. Every time Yama shows up, you're ready to do predictions.
Correct.
Okay. From the Aruda, this is very easy. Aruda is in Cancer. Lord is in second. Done. Easy. Known for being an astrologer. But people don't know what makes you tick. Now we know what makes you tick because the inner realm is the Atma and the Lagna.
Yeah.
But from the Aruda, it's easy. As soon as you decide to do it, people are there to support your work. Decision is to do it is where it's hard.
Correct. And can we try something very quickly? Can you move the birth time 51 and 3 seconds?
And 3 seconds, yes. And let's see here. And you're expecting anything to change? It's very small adjustment, right?
Yeah, still the Shani is, because I have a very specific thing, the Shani and Rahu are actually, if you look, they are on the same degree and almost the same minute. So in some programs, it shows that Rahu is my Atma Karaka, but it is a minute apart, actually. Very interesting.
I see how interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And you could debate that the second lord from Rahu is Mercury aspecting Rahu. That would be very appropriate, to say.
Very interesting.
Now, I will also dwell a little bit in this context on the Navamsha because I keep saying, look at Navamsha. And you see in Navamsha, it's very common for people who have one of these Sun or Jupiter or Ketu or Rahu. Rahu, Ketu, Sun, Jupiter. Usually, people who are very serious about the study of Jyotish will have one of these in Kona to the Navamsha Lagna. And that also tells about the nature of their Jyotish practice. Sun is interested in day-to-day useful work. Prashna, all right? Muhurta, that kind of stuff. Here and now stuff. Nimitta. Jupiter is interested in birth chart analysis. Okay? Understanding the full karmas. Rahu has a very different approach, very nimitta focused, omen focused. Very nimitta omen focused.
Yeah.
That's why such people also like the idea of using tarot cards. Okay, symbolism. Ketu is very interested in getting the precise prediction and timing. Okay?
Correct.
Very, very mathematical in their approach, Ketu. Not so interested in the larger scheme of things. Jupiter, the whole life, beginning till end, what is going on. Why have you come here? There's something that you experienced in the past, you're traumatized from. You've come here with this in your mind. You need to understand what this means for the future. This is happening in your past life. This will happen maybe in your future life. Full focus. That's Jupiter. Very, very broad. Okay? Get the whole picture. Jupiter's picture. That's Jupiter. Sun, right here and right now, what do you need? Ketu, what will happen? When did it happen? Okay? Rahu, very symbolic. These are the grahas. In Navamsha, we look for these. All right. So, having said that, do you think we have satisfied your question about Jyotish?
Completely.
Is this the only thing I see? I see a few more things. I do. Yeah. But I'm not going to speak all my goodies out in one session.
No.
These are things that I want the public to know. I say, look, Guru Shukra Yoga must clear. Okay? Atmakaraka must keep you going. All right? Correct. And then I revealed something from Parashara.
Correct.
Some shlokas which are obscure today.
Thank you for teaching us actually in a way and showing us the examples. It's interesting to see my own chart in the same so-called same conversation with Jyotisha giants. So that's a good thing. Thank you for this one. We can record some other topic in the future, and
looking forward to next time.